Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the NDA podcast. I am Rob D, aka Sketchcraft. This is where I work on things I can't share, but while I draw and work on things I can't share because they're under NDA. Behind me is going to play a video of things I have made in the past. In this case, we're going to be looking at me inking I Lie Popeye. It's a cover for issue 2 featuring Bluto with the cool cable like armor and a spinach gun. It's going to be dope. I'm going to go ahead and hit gonna pick up where we left off last time. I'm gonna hit play, and let's see. All right, there. We're gonna let that go. We're gonna keep the stream going for a couple hours here while I work, and I'm just gonna do a little check. I'll make sure I'm live on the YouTubers and all that good stuff. It's always funny. I go to log into YouTube, and all of a sudden it logs me out of everything. So it's like, yes, it's me. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Shanti? How you doing, bud? And we're good to go. Everything's working. Perfetto. Perfetto. Yeah, I've been getting a little bit of a email or phone hit all morning. Um Apparently Did You Know Gaming put up a canceled Crash Bandicoot 5 and the Fall of Crash Team Rumble video, and I'm under NDA, so I can't tell you if that's true or not true, but I'd watch it. I would watch it. You know what I mean? That would be entertaining to watch. I think that would be entertaining to watch. All I can say about that, man, is like Toys for Bob had a brilliant team, and I just wish, regardless of what was being made or not, I wish we had a chance to continue to make more stuff. And it was cut too short. I mean, could you imagine if the Insomniac crew, like the Ratchet and Clank crew, only got to make like one game? You know, like, come on. I mean, technically, we made two, right, with Spyro Reimagined. So, but we only got to make one Crash Bandicoot game. So, you know, now I'm just drawing buildings. One of those things with comics, like you get handed something, you go, "Oh yeah, man! Like, what would you do if you had to draw a city being destroyed?" You know, in the panels, but it's not the focus. It's like happening in the background. So it's like it's one of those things. I can see where modern artists have like used 3D modeling to handle that, but I just put I it was weird. I was really into maybe using 3D modeling for backgrounds in 1998, 99. Like I was looking at Ray Dream Studio, and then I moved to the Half-Life engine, whatever that was. It shipped with Half-Life 1. You could model in there. And then I moved to 3D Studio Max, and I thought, this has future. And then Google SketchUp came out, and I was like, hey, you could do this even easier and just do block modeling. But what eventually happened was it was just I just got my perspective down to the point where it was like, you know, okay, speed isn't really that big a difference. It is when you're trying to do like more complex cities, but I started seeing in comics like um, there's a book called like How to Ink the DC Way, and it was like here's how to create these like really intricate CGI metropolises, and I'm like, I'm looking at that right. And this is what I at the time, it's like maybe 10 years after first, was like, yeah, maybe you could use 3Ds to do backgrounds. By the time this comes out, I'm like looking at Bill Watterson, the way he draws cities, right? And I'm like, one of these has character and life, and the other just looks like a big CGI model, you know? And I do understand deadlines are always the bane of every comic book artist, But I don't know if it's produced a more memorable I don't know. It's definitely your taste. For me, I can't relate to any of it. I don't look at it. It doesn't make me want to pick up a pencil and draw. I just know that. Like I know like I don't feel like inspired when I go, okay. You know. And it has nothing to do with digital, like drawing digitally or not drawing digitally. It just has to do with like I don't feel like I'm seeing the person. I just want to see the person. I want to see the artist. And to me, I'm like anything could have made that, I guess. Hey, what's up, Allison? But I mean, it definitely takes longer. I mean, when you're doing that kind of detail, so it's like maybe don't do that much detail. I don't know. It's weird because I put detail in, so it's odd. But it's my detail. I don't have answers, folks. I just know what I like looking at, and I know I don't like looking at uh, inhuman things. Like it can be drawn digitally, it can be drawn traditionally, but it needs to look like someone made it. I don't know what that is, man. I really don't. I know it's when it's not there, right? With AI, you can see it. You can tell. I think now people are like, "Oh man, AI is getting better. Look how photorealistic it is," and I'm like, "That's not what I'm looking for." As a lover of impressionism and cartooning, that's not what I'm looking for. So it's getting better at like replicating people, but the way people see the world, I think everyone sees the world differently. Like, even if you get along with someone, like I encounter this sometimes when I tell stories from high school. Every now and then, one of my high school friends is listening. And they're like, "That's not how it went down." Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, "Well, blah 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 blah. It went this way." I'm like, "It's not how I saw it." you know. Chauncey says, "I like what you said the other day about looking for art, invoking an emotion, and inputting an idea into a piece." Yeah, yeah. I stand by it. Like it's not just clever things I'm saying. You know, like I really believe it. You know, and I try to do that with my art. And I won't lie. Sometimes, I draw something and I get stuck on like not so much fixing it, but I'm like, this doesn't achieve what I set out. Does this feel like anything? Does this feel? You know, there's different ways to achieve it. I mean, I did these Copic like Spider-Man, Venom, different superhero things once. And then I did digital backgrounds. So Chauncey asks, do I have an experimental piece of art? Do you have examples of art you see that does that? I can name some artists. I mean, look, in comics, I think Bill Sienkiewicz has been doing it the best, if you want to talk about comic book artists. You know, I think Sam Keith, you know, definitely gets there. I think Jeff Smith gets. I think Jeff Smith invokes an emotion with Bone specifically. I can't speak for anything else. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really been into his other works, Razzle or even Captain Marvel. They're well drawn, but they don't have that feeling, you know. And that's not fair to him. They're very well drawn. I'm just saying, you know, like I don't know what it is. In terms of fine artists, there's some artists today. Nathan Fowlkes would be someone who does that consistently. Um, Marla Bagetta, Bageetta. She's a pastel artist. She's brilliant. She does that. I think Carlos Maglia did that. You know, especially if you go look at like Superman Infinite City and Canary and Red Song. You can see what I mean. Like Alex Nino does a good job of that too. Sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at, but I know like it invokes an emotion. I'm like, man, there's something visceral about this, you know. And Bill Watterson, you know, was Bill Watterson the best illustrator? You know, probably not. I mean, he certainly didn't survive in political cartoons. You know, I mean, he always looked up to Stagman, and the guy went on to do Zits and stuff. But like, you know, those were well drawn, but Watterson knew how to invoke an emotion. Yeah, Alex Nino. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Alex Nino's work, dude. You know, and so like, I look at that stuff and I'm like, only an Alex Nino could have pulled that off, right? Only, and I think that's so hard to get to, man. I really do. Like, some people get there faster than others. I'm not gonna lie. You come across, you come across certain artists and you're like, man, they got their shit down quickly, you know. But other people, it takes a while. It takes a while to get there. Some people burn out too fast. I mean, you know, like Keith just burned so bright, but then just wrecked his hand, right? I mean, that's a shame. I'm like, maybe a little less detail. Yeah, I don't know, but his paintings are still on point. I have, um, but Nino's still doing great stuff, dude. I mean, like he does all these great paintings and stuff on his YouTube channel. So you know, Allison says Daniel Warren Johnson evokes emotion. Yeah. He's super dope. I think the reason why I don't immediately think of Warren is he does so much black and white, and I tend to look at things in color. So like, sad to say, like a lot of the work, oh great as it is like kind of falls away in my brain. You know, it's weird because Smith doesn't, but then again, it's weird because I tend to see bone in color when I read it. Isn't that weird? That is weird. But yeah, no, Warren's great. I mean, we all think Pete Wood said it best years ago when Warren first showed up. Like every now and then, someone shows up and defines a generation. And Danny Warren Johnson is the dude for now, and it's like, yeah, I don't see any argument with that one. You know, I think Warren's the kind of guy that, you know, when he draws something, you definitely want to pick up a pencil and draw, even if you're not drawing the same thing. You know, it makes you want to make stuff. You know, Scotty. I mean, Scotty's in the same group, right? I think Scotty's always been that way. Galloway. So I'm biased to cartoonists. So you know, cartoonists and impressionists. Monet, Like I don't care for the Louvre. I go to the Monet Museum. I haven't been to Paris in quite a while, but next time I go, that's where I'll be going. So I prefer the conceptual illustrations to the actual, like on animation. I prefer the conceptual stuff to the ones that appeared in the movie for the most part. You know, I think the conceptual stuff tends to just invoke the emotion better. Once the rendering gets in, sometimes it gets in the way. But I also understand like people can't generally see conceptual stuff, you know? Like that's why when I see certain artists only doing loose sketches, I'm like, you gotta you gotta find a way to render that out on some level, even if it's just through color or something. You gotta complete the art on some level because a lot of people just can't see that stuff, or it doesn't have the same impact it probably could have if it just had a more bolder line here or there. But that's art direction, man. Like and preference and preference. Hey, what's up, Daniela? What's up? How you doing? Oh, Allison owns some original Daniel Warren Johnson art. That's awesome. So like that's the difference to me. Like when you see like someone that I don't know, like there are very, very good illustrators who are just gonna technically blow the pants out the water. They're gonna be bam. But sometimes, like I'll I would prefer someone it's a little bit more personable. I don't know how to describe it, man. That's where the word. I guess that's where the phrase "je ne sais quoi" comes from. I know, like, so long as I'm attempting to put a feeling into everything when I'm working, as long as I'm attempting it, then I hope I get there. I don't think I get there every time. I mean, but like, I know, like, when I'm drawing a bunch of buildings being destroyed, I like shapes and stuff. You know, I like strong, fun shapes versus just like here's every window. You know, here's drawing every window and everything. Like I prefer reading Nausicaa to Akira. All right, I own Akira. You know, I own it. It's a brilliant piece of work. God knows how many artists actually worked on that book. Um, but when I read Nausicaa, I can tell one dude did it. I don't care if it took 12 years. You know, in part, so it just feels more personal to me. And indie comics for me, like the height of indie comics for me started with like Turtles. Then Image is like the cinematic mainstream version of an indie comic. But I didn't, Scud would be like the next phase. Scud and Bone, would be that next wave of like black and white indie comics. And then Oni. I really stand by Oni comics, like 99 to 2001. Things like Coffin and Girl Scouts and the Clerks comics. Like there was in Magic Pickle, there was a time when I was buying everything. Yeah, Nausicaa. Yeah, the manga. Talking about the manga. Yeah. I stand by that. The Nausicaa manga is my Lord of the Rings. I mean, so many times in that book, Miyazaki describes color, the Omu's eyes, the color of this. It's all in black and white, but you see the color. When he draws a battle, it looks like one person drew the battle. A lot of it is kind of out of focus and scribbles, but then there's, moments of absolute clarity and stuff. When I look at Akira, it's brilliant, but I'm like, how many people died making this? Miyazaki drew it alone. Yeah, it took him 12 years. So the movie is only like the first half of the first chapter. So like they could definitely. I've always hoped that he would go back and actually do like a TV series and adapt or the whole thing, or maybe do a video game. I think the founder of Level 5 was trying to get a Nausicaa game made, which is why they made uh, what's that video game they made with Studio Ghibli? Forget it. It's like Pokemon. When Joe Hisashi did the music for him. Brain farting the name right now. What goes deeper? Oh, dude, my friend, if you haven't read the manga, you are in for a treat. I envy you. No, the video game. This video game, they made it with Level 5. I'm just forgetting. They made two of them. Just forgetting. I'm brain farting the name right now. It's with the kid. He's got like a little banana looking Yokoi, and like they capture. It's like a Pokemon RPG kind of thing. Yeah, they did a DS one. You do magic spells and stuff. They did one on the PS3 and then PS. Ni no Kuni. Thank you, thank you. You can forgive me for not memorizing that name. You know, but at the time, the CEO of Level 5 was saying how a big a fan of Nausicaa was, and he was trying to make a game that would adapt the whole story. And I was so hopeful for that because Ni no Kuni, the first one specifically, is just gorgeous. You know, the gameplay is all right, but the game is gorgeous. And I think Nausicaa would have been something a little easier for them to make, but there was a DS version that was very good too. They had like pixel graphics and stuff. And I was like, this is what JRPGs used to be like. Had an overworld map, Ni no Kuni. Gotta remember at the time there weren't even overworld maps anymore, you know, like Square just I don't know, man. You know, Square trying to be not Square is not my kind of Square. You know, Nausicaa created Chocobos. Square owes Nausicaa a lot. Final Fantasy owes Nausicaa. I mean, let's be honest. You know, there really is no Final Fantasy. It really is. Final Fantasy is Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky, like crystals and the end of the world. So, how long did this take me to do the final links? Took me like 6 hours. I think initially to draw it took me. So I probably spent about 16 hours between digital lines and traditional lines, and then I colored it in about 5. You know. But I'll just say 6. I'm always a little off, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But Allison's talking about yeah, Poison Elves, that's 92, 93. Stuff was good, you know, not quite my thing. I didn't have access to a lot of it. I did have access to Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which I enjoyed. It was at Hot Topic when Hot Topic was like super goth. So I'd walk in there because I'm as Steve Rogers, like I'm not talking about Captain America Steve Rogers. I'm talking about skinny Steve Rogers. I'm as skinny Steve Rogers as it gets, and so it's like I walk in there like the soup Nazi kitchen. I'd pick up the comic, bring it down, you know, have my one copy of Johnny, and then I'd leave. You know, have you ever read Calvin? Oh, of course, Richard. I grew up with Calvin and Hobbes. I own all the Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I even put Waterson style trees in Spawn. I'm doing a book called Spawn Kills Every Spawn. It's like a cartoony Spawn book about a Calvin-sized Spawn that wants to be the best Spawn, but he's not, so he just has to kill the other Spawns to be the best Spawn rather than actually apply himself. But I've hidden plenty of Calvin and Hobbes Easter eggs into that book. There's quite a few. Sometimes it's the way I draw trees. I put in a Waterson tree. Sometimes um let's just say there's if you look for it, you'll find a lot of Calvin and Hobbes Easter eggs in that book. Second issue arrives next week, folks. Next week. on the 28th. I even posted an homage I did when the book, there was a period where the book wasn't really being written, and I didn't want them to like not make the book, so I just kept sending Todd McFarlane and these guys art, and so I did one where I spoofed a Calvin and Hobbes strip, one of the Sunday strips, where it's a spaceman spiff one where he gets captured by aliens. So I kind of redrew it as the Spawn DeLorean, a little mini Spawn who gets captured by violators. So I posted that. It's on my Deviant art or even my Instagram. You can see on my DeviantArt, it's a little easier to see. If you want to see that, you can see that there. All right. But yeah, like right now I'm drawing like buildings being destroyed, and it's like, I want to crunch or fold buildings or twist them sometimes, like in ways that they would never in real life, But in cartooning, you can sell something, you know, the emotion of it more than the technical reality of it. I think a little easier. Of course, my whole thing is making fun art, guys. Like that's what I do. Like I make fun art. I like to make art that makes me smile and laugh. Like that's what I do. You know. Even if it's sexy girls, I'll draw fun sex. Like I don't. J. Scott Campbell on Gen 13. That was the difference between. It wasn't that he was doing the Art Adams thing or the Mort Drucker thing. The guy knew how to put fun in his art. You could see when other people took over, it was very technically well drawn, but it didn't have the fun. I felt the same way with Jeff Matsuda when he did Kaboom over at Awesome. And then Kieran Grant, who is a brilliant illustrator. Kieran's a brilliant illustrator, but it just didn't have the same fun as Jeff Matsuda, you know. did not have the fun. Let's post on social, shall we? Oh snap! Ratatouille. There we go. Yeah, apparently the game playing behind me is there was a Popeye game that came out on the Super Famicom. It was only in Japan. So someone, I guess they did a fan translation. I didn't even know. I've never even played it. So I'm gonna have to definitely look up the ROM and give that a shot. That would be fun. Hey, what's up, Jonesy? Jonesy in the house. What's Jonesy got to say? The cover of a comic book is more important than the rest of the pages? It's the only page people see in the comic book shelf, and it's the one that needs to get the attention of the customers. That's what I'm told. But I don't know, like that's what I'm told. Personally, I think the coloring of the cover is more important than what's on it. But yeah, look, everything's important, you know. Like if you buy a comic with the great cover and then you open it and you go, I wish the insides was as good as the cover. Like it's that's like the whole thing. That's why I stopped like actively pursuing just cover work because I'm like, it's really the whole thing, and you got to be able to execute and package the whole thing together. You know, how you're going to do the figures, how you're going to tell stories, how you're going to do backgrounds, how the colors are going to come together. And I actively work with my colorist like on every page. Just so that he's happy that I'm happy. You know, he wants me to be happy. I want him to feel like he's got creative input too. You never want to be like, just color it the way. Like, I do want to color the way, but you also want people to have creative input. Let them feel a sense of ownership, and then you want the reader to feel like they got their money's worth. And that's different for everyone. I don't. I know like what I set out to do. You know, if I got a book called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and turtles aren't in it, that's a problem. And that happened to a guy, LaShawn Thomas, who I spent a few days with him once at Comic Con when I was at Play. He drew a Turtles book over at Dreamwave, and he was a huge Turtles fan. His covers are brilliant. You get to the interiors, and they're very well drawn, but there's no turtles. There's very little turtles in the book, and I was always like, "What? What happened? What happened to the turtles?" And he did me a Casey Jones sketch, super dope guy, and he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "The writer Peter David didn't feel like writing turtles, so he wrote these other human characters." So he tried to at least give the turtles part of the book on the cover, and that's a real problem in the industry, man. Writers just decide they want to go off the script and do what they want, and it's like, well, you're an artist; it's your job to draw what they write. And I'm like, maybe I just refuse to draw what they write, but then you get blacklisted, right? Is being you didn't do every man. LaShawn did a book called Arcanium at Image before he did the Turtles book, and it's super well drawn. It's super good, and I was so excited when he was on Turtles. I was couldn't believe it, and then he just didn't get to draw the Turtles. So even if the cover's great, you know, not just the interiors have to be drawn well, but the story needs to. I just think the story just needs to fulfill on the promise of what they're selling. You know, they call that the promise of the premise. So they're yeah, but and we live in a weird industry, man, where writers, I don't know, I don't know. By and large, man, they seem to just do whatever. I don't think they think about the cinematicness of, or I don't know, like I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to speak for an entire industry. There's too many people. But I know as a fan, I pull away from something when I'm like, it said it's one thing, and then I got another, you know, and you know, I know that's a problem, even in movies, not just comics, in anything. So as an artist, you got to be very careful when you're making something that you did the thing you said you was gonna do, you know. And that's where I prefer, you know, to do books that are, you know, I'll never do a monthly book. So I would prefer to work on something for about a year or so and then put it out. And I know they're like, the industry's like, well, that's just not how people can't remember you. And I'm like, well, that's on marketing. Maybe you guys market things differently, huh? Somehow people can go 6 years without ever seeing a Batman movie, and then they can drop a Batman movie and everyone can go see it. Oh, they know what Batman is. All right, I want to bring it back. How any movie? They don't know what any movie is. No one knew what's this romantic comedy with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. No one knew what that was, and then they knew it. So maybe comic book marketing needs to change. You know, instead of blaming. Well, the problem is you didn't do more work. The way for everyone to remember you to do so much work, they can't even afford to buy all of it, and then you work yourself to death. I'm like, so you know, I could endlessly gripe about this stuff, folks, but most people will never know something's out. Even Oppenheimer could come out and people wouldn't even know with $100 million marketing budget that it's out. You know, like how much money they spent on Furiosa trailers. Oh, that came out. That was out. Wasn't paying attention to it. It happens all the time. You know, so it's like maybe you do things where movie theaters you package in comics with the popcorn bucket. You know, so you can ship a million issues across the nation of something. You know. Never underestimate in the '90s. Pizza Hut had this X-Men promotion where they gave away like X-Men comics, you know, at the stores. I mean, that had a giant effect. I can't tell you how many kids I knew at school were bringing in comics for the first time because of that. Matter of fact, I found Sam Keith's art because of a Charleston Chew Wolverine comic. Charleston Chew. So I'm hoping to start a new show weekly with Brandon next month. He says next month he'll have the ability because he's quitting one of his jobs. He can afford to have one job now. So so hoping to be able to do that with him there. So we're just gonna call it Sketchcraft Shoutouts, where we kind of go through comics or specific artists. You know, it's art driven. It's not so much storyline driven. You know, and it might be a comic, or it might be an art book, or it might be a movie, or it might be an Instagram account. You know, but yeah, it's actually why I drew the new thumbnail head of myself, the little cartoon head. Instead, I did a whole design for that. So we'll put them up here, and I'll probably start its own page too, just so it's got its own spot on YouTube. You know, and I'm hoping to do that every week. You know, just once a week. So you don't have to feel like you have to read a whole storyline to understand what we're talking about. There's never going to be, real spoilers, other than, maybe you'll see pages or something you didn't want to see, but what can I do there? But just art driven, you know. 'Cause, I mean, there's artists I follow on YouTube. I'm like, these cats deserve to get. I mean, on YouTube or even on Instagram, and it's just like, you know, these cats deserve more praise. And like I think like just replying with the fire emoji for me is not enough. I never really know what to say sometimes to folks. It's like, this is amazing, and I do it. I go, this is dope. This is awesome. But it's like, you know, much better talking about things than like texting stupid praises. Hey, what's up, Ishi? Itchy in the house. Beep, 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 beep. I want to be the sketulence of sketchecution, to quote my Bret Hart, right? Sketulence of sketchecution. It's so stupid. I'm gonna have to make that shirt. I'll watch WWE will send me something. Hey, hey. How's my week been? Okay. Not as productive as I'd like. I'm getting back to full speed. So this is another reason why I can't do conventions often. It just throws everything off. Like it throws my groove, my rhythm off, everything. So it's like I I don't mind taking some time off, but like I would prefer to take time off after a project's complete, not in between a project. So it took me a little bit to kind of get. And full speed doesn't just mean, oh, I'm getting pages done on time. Like they have to be drawn right too. It's like I drew some stuff. I'm like, that's not right. You know, it's not. I have to fix it. I have to be back in the zone. In the zone. I don't like the sketchecutor. I like the schedulance of sketchecution. Everyone's. I don't want to be the Terminator. I'd rather be Bret Hart. Only man to punch Vince McMahon in his own office right in the face and get away with it. And Vince is like, yeah, I deserved it. Who's my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers? Look, I can't speak for anything before 1980. All right, so I mean, I listen to Jim Cornette. I can't say I have any real interest. I mean, Jerry Lawler. I only know him as a wise ass. I don't know him as a wrestler. You know, so um, I'll tell you my how about this. I'll put my favorite, like a reason to turn on old wrestling. Like I don't really care for new wrestling either, and I'll tell you why. It's too much production value. I think it's too. I like just enough production value. I thought there was just enough production value in the mid '90s. By the time you get to 2003, 2004, 2005, it's too much production value. I like it looking a little stupid. I like the wrestling to be a little bit more believable, even if it's got giant cartoon characters. But I do want the actual wrestling to pretend it's real. You know, I don't like it when they grab the ropes and the lights go off and people are pretending to be electrocuted. Like that's not my thing. But I can buy, you know, sounds stupid. I I can entertain two Undertakers in the ring at the same time or some stupid shit like that, as long as they play it straight, you know. So for me, it's Bret Hart, you know, for certain. Macho Man Randy Savage. Uh, I think Steve Austin. I mean, I was there right when it all happened with him and Bret. You know, and I don't like him like as a person, but as a wrestler, Shawn Michaels is pretty fucking awesome. You know, and I guess from I didn't really like a lot of. I never liked Hulk Hogan and WCW. I like Jim Cornette. I'm putting Jim Cornette on there. I'm putting Jim Cornette because if Jim Cornette is in the ring with any wrestler, good or bad, it's gonna be worth watching. Period. You put Jim Cornette in the ring with AEW guys, it's gonna be worth watching. You put him in the ring with any wrestler, he makes it better. I didn't even know who the dude was until he showed up in the WWF, and it was that one where Bobby Heenan was great too, right? And Bobby Heenan brought him in and started like praising him, and just the crowd was booing, and I was like, I mean, the crowd's booing him, and Cornette's like, ah, shucks, and I'm like, ah, you love me, and I was like, that's so fucking good. Who is this dude? You know. But I know wrestling dudes will be like, yeah. I'm like, all right, yeah. Hey, what's up, Rick? Where are we at on this? I see. You'll draw on Bluto. I always love those really thick lines Waterstone lay down, or sometimes Joe Mad would do, right? Like the really thick lines. I try to put those in the book where I can to really make a character feel heavier. It just says Macho Man was his favorite wrestler. Dude, I listen to his rap. Yeah, dude, Macho Man. You know, nothing like a Macho Man. Yeah, Macho Man's definitely up there. I prefer Brett's wrestling, but Macho Man had the personality. I could, better than the best. Better than the best. Yeah, but I mean, Macho could actually wrestle though too. He was quite good, but like you put the Rock in before HBK. Uh, I can see that. I like his personality. I like it, but the Rock never had the reason why I put HBK. No, no, man, no. HBK was a better heel than the Rock. The Rock was fun, good replacement for Hulk Hogan, but you genuinely hated Shawn Michaels. Everyone hated him as a person. And I'm like, you hate him, but he's like Johnny Lawrence, right? From Cobra Kai. Like, he's really good, but you fucking hate, but damn, he is good. Like, you know, he was a total asshole. And believe me, in the '90s, I would have been like, I fucking hate that guy like so much. But now I appreciate, and I appreciate that that guy worked. Like he actually put in great matches. You put him and Brett together, and I mean, like that's the most underrated. You know, people forget that they just forget the new generation, like it didn't count. And so every time I skip these wrestling Instagram things are always like, which was the best? And they skip New Generation. I'm like, no, I like New Generation. Kiss my ass. You know, I was in full high school when it went down, so it's not like I'm that nostalgic for it. Like, but I genuinely liked a lot of it, even if it wasn't as iconic as like the '80s. There was a lot of better stuff, and I didn't have to deal with fucking Hulk Hogan. I've never liked the man. I've never liked Hulk Hogan. Never liked Hulk Hogan. So yeah, but people really hated Shawn. The behind the scenes wrestlers liked The Rock. People hated Shawn Michaels, man. You know, I'll put Shawn Michaels wrestling over The Rock's wrestling any day of the week. I mean, that's not even close. I mean, that ladder match he did with Scott Hall or Razor Ramon or whatever. I know, like, Brett was supposed to do it. I know the whole story, but he didn't. They did it, and it was excellent. WrestleMania 10. Oh yeah, I right next would be Mick Foley, by the way. Like, I am a Mick Foley guy. I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. Like, I just thought he was fucking crazy. Like, this guy's crazy. He's a crazy man. Never seen anything like that guy before or since. Yeah, but you gotta understand, I stopped giving. I watched the last match I really watched was The Rock versus Hogan. Just I was like, fine, I'll watch this stupid thing. My friend had it over to his house when it was live, and I just, like I like The Rock, as a personality, but as a wrestler, you know, the matches weren't that great. The shit talking was great, you know, for certain. You know, he somehow combined like Ted DiBiase and Macho Man into his own thing. Like he kind of took over that Macho Man role, but speaking about himself in the third person. You know, but again, HBK. Look, you asked me what I liked. I didn't tell you what you liked. you know. And she says, respect old school wrestlers that paved the way. Yeah, 100%. Look, they had it really tough, dude. Those guys were like doing like 20 shows a fucking week on airplanes. I mean, just you got to give Ted DiBiase credit. That guy, I mean, yeah, he's a criminal, but like, you know, he got Vince McMahon to get him to fly first class because of his persona. He's like, hey, people can't see the $1 million man flying coach. And Vince couldn't argue with that. Might be the greatest. That might be the greatest move ever. He got Vince McMahon in the '80s to fly him first class because he's called the $1 million man, and he couldn't be seen flying coach. It would break cave. Like, how fucking genius is that? Come on, that's a move. Yeah, but when he flew first class, my man. Other dude's a straight up criminal, dude. I mean, we've all seen that pan out, But I love that he also anyone who can get money out of Vince McMahon, I have a strong affection for. I'm like, bravo. No one stole from wrestlers more than Vince McMahon, dude. Let's be honest. None of them cats were paid what they were really worth. Let alone the damage done to them physically, emotionally, everything. So, got no love for Vince McMahon. None whatsoever. I mean, other than he hired dudes that I ended up really liking, you know, but they would have found their way. You know? If Vince wasn't around, wrestling still would have found its way one way or the other, you know. Now I'll give credit, the WF video games were better in the 80s and early 90s, you know, until 64. Like every industry needs competition. You can't run a monopoly, you know. It's just not good for anybody. She says, I remember Real World was showcased, Triple H in China, and a glimpse of being a W wrestler, seeing Hunter trying to drive his way onto the next city. Yeah. Yeah. What was those Ames guys or whatever? No, it's not Ames guys, it's fucking lettering thing. What's the what was the name of that big map book we all used to have in the 90s and 80s? What was that called? That giant map book. Everyone had one in their car. Spiral bound. Maybe wrestling shouldn't be as big as it is today, John. See, that's what I would say. I think wrestling getting as big has kind of been for the worse for wrestling. When you watch wrestling now, I get people are into it, but the matches aren't as good as they used to be, and that's not nostalgia talking, you know. And part of it was Vince, um, and that scripting everything, and not letting people learn how to improv and be personalities. He wanted them to be like script controlled. It's just wrestling's a very difficult thing, man. Very difficult thing, and it's not scripted television. It's a bunch of different things occurring at once when done well. And I can tell you a lot of it these days isn't done very well. I get people love it, and you can love it. I'm not going to make a fucking YouTube channel complaining about it. I just don't turn it on. And you certainly shouldn't be watching 5 3-hour shows a night. You know, like these shows are too damn long, man. Like do 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes, but 3-hour shows all the time. Tell me, no one's sticking around for that. Like it's ridiculous. People complain there's too much Marvel and DC and stuff to watch. Try following wrestling. It's ridiculous. It's too much, and it's not all great. It could be pared down a whole lot. I mean, it's too much stuff. So, but in America, you wait to think everything needs to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't mean it went better. There's a point where it's like maintain or flip it a little bit, flip it on its head, but growing everything. You can't just have exponential growth forever. It's late stage capitalism talking. Which is, I believe, it's the pacing of how WWE matches work. You've seen Rey Mysterio wrestle on WWE. Like I can't. I tell you, I've turned it on from time to time, and I it's not for me. So I just move on. Let's see. Sometimes I forget how I drew things. I forget how I drew them. Oh no, it's Popeye and Pluto. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in the final color version, he's charging up a big glowy fireball. Yeah, it's out September 18th. So final order call was like 2 weeks ago. So you can't pre-order. Now you gotta hope they have it, or you're gonna have to go to eBay. Maybe they'll give me some comps. I don't know how that works with Massive. We'll see. Everything about them has been great. I mean, they paid fast, like relatively little, notes or anything, just a couple bits. So no complaints, So I imagine they'll give me some. I might, but sometimes guys comps. It's not like they send me 50 copies. Like they generally send you 5. You know, so it's like, I'll probably have to remark them and put them up for a little bit of money to make something out of it. I suspect this cover is going to be ordered in low quantities because no one knows who I am. Like that's just the way the comic industry works. Yeah, my brother, he's a huge wrestling guy, huge. He's in a band called the UAPs. He's in a few bands. He's played with like a bunch of actual bands too. But his side hustle is he sells real vintage wrestling shirts. Like even they do like they'll go to wrestling shows and they do like uh live covers of all the songs and stuff, like intro songs and stuff. So like he lives out in Lake Havasu, and I went to go see him a few weeks ago. After Comic Con, I drove down there, and yeah, I mean he'll talk wrestling out your ears. And he follows everything. He watches him and his wife or girlfriend. They watch everything. When in doubt, black it out. He just says, I see comic artists, the same as actors for Hollywood. Really depends on your name if you can draw people in to buy the product. Yeah, except that we do way more than the acting. Like, really. I'm going to be honest. Like, I've thought about this quite a bit, um, especially the last year. I can't speak for every comic book artist. All right. But for me, I really see what I do as much closer to what anime directors do, in that they storyboard out the whole thing. Like I really do feel I should be getting. I think every artist really should be getting co-writing credit. I really do. I think the words, it should be like story should be by both, and script or final words or something should be like by the writer. Because there's so many things that I add that are not in the script that I just think it's unfair. That I really do. And I like John, dude. John's a good guy. My writer, John Lehman, he's super good, dude. But like, I just like, you know, the words. I don't know. There should be something there for that. Now I don't control what happens in the book. I don't control the direction of it. That's where it gets weird, because you're like, well, he came up with this. It is his thing. You can't blame me. No, you can't. He's gonna get mad at me. But you add so much that isn't there. So much that I don't even know if it can. It's not the same. It I mean, ultimately, it's why most artists, if you got the ability to write a little bit, should be making their own material, just so you get that full credit. But um, the industry does work on name. You're right about that. Who draws, and right now, man, I don't know. Like, it's always like seniority. Seniority plays. So on this project, I'm got the least seniority when you really think. Even though I'm doing like, the book doesn't exist without my efforts 100%. um I definitely have the least seniority. I mean, even my writers is tech. I mean, my colorist is producing more work monthly than he's coloring the main spawn book, and that's kind of like how it works. Like John has Todd has the most, right? Obviously, John, the writer, has the next, and my colorist actually, in the world of comics, probably gets more pull than me at this point. So, which is fine. You just got to know the pecking order. But I told them, like, when they were like, yeah, like, you want to do the cover? I'm like, I'll do it. I'm happy to do it, but I can't guarantee you're gonna, you know. The last time I did variant covers for IDW, they're like, you are the worst selling variant artist we've ever had this year. It was like that year I had the lowest selling variants, 2017. I was like, well, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Then I don't need that on my shoulders. Like, don't hire me then. Like, like, I draw how I draws, man. I am's what I am. That's not good enough for comics. Then comics, I'll just stop doing it. And I did. I did stop doing it. It wasn't until Todd asked me if I wanted to do this, and I was like, at least with this, I could, I get to do everything. On that Popeye cover, I did the colors too, so that's nice. But how are they supposed to pre-order for someone they don't really know? I think they were just excited by my art because of the Spawn stuff, and I totally appreciate it. And I'm proud of the work I did. I think this cover is fucking awesome. Like, I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I fully expect it to be the lowest selling thing they pull off all year. Because that's just how my career is constantly gone. So we'll see. Well, it's wild. That's why you didn't want to work in comics. Um, there's a lot of reasons why I stopped working in comics. And my interactions with IDW is definitely the final. But that was just a final straw. That was not the only reason. But I had spent better part of 10, 15 years working on books that just never got published. I'd get so far and they'd get canceled. So I'd spend like, a year of my time working on something. And so I got, you know, I'd get so far and the company would fold. The writer, Monstroids, the writer and the publishers could never agree on a script. So that just sat there languishing until they finally agreed. And then, like the recession had hit. And I was like, I waited almost a year for them to figure out what they wanted to do. And I don't know who could sit around waiting for a year. So like that didn't work out. And then I worked on a Death Junior graphic novel for Play. And that was going to be like the basis for the next Death Junior game, which I thought was super dope because Jeff Matsuda designed the character. And so I got to meet Jeff and he gave me his thumbs up on the work I was doing. I thought that might be the way I was going to get in, get to help build some video game graphic novels. I thought that was going to be super awesome. And I was proud of the work, but the recession, the company folded. So like a good year's worth of efforts gone, you know. I sold some indie books to Image. Or I sold a indie book. I sold Mosaic to Image, but my writer didn't write the book. So I was like, what's the point of me doing all this work, getting deals and then people just don't come through. And then when I do the work, the studio gets all mad or talk shit to me. It's like, I just don't need it. Same with Big Dog Inc. Like anytime like I was doing those covers, if I wasn't doing J. Scott Campbell homages, nothing would sell. And I was like, I don't want to. I'm a huge fan of J. Scott Campbell, but like kind of have my own thing. And the more I did my stuff, the less, that worked out. And so I had to leave that gig for certain. So she says he thinks with Spawn because Spawn's going to push you. I don't know. Guys. That's not my goal. Is to just, illustrate the story and bring the world to life as best I can, and spend time with, Spawn because I was a huge fan. So it's one challenge at a time, really. One challenge at a time, and then working with my colorist has been, that I got to be respectful of his time, and so it's coordinating all those efforts together. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. It's not just I drew the page, I turned it in, and presto, it got done. I'm extremely involved, and happy to be, but it's a lot of work, and it's the kind of work I'm up for more than I am to say, hey, Rob, you want to be the variant cover artist all the time? Like, not really, If something comes along that's fun, if I can add fun to it, if I got to take this Popeye thing, I had to take for certain. If they weren't interested in my take, if they were like, they weren't interested in the fireball or the Bluto gun and shit, like I was really, the spinach gun was my big, I really wanted to do that. If they weren't interested in that, I would have passed for certain. There's just no sense in like. And there were other layouts, but they all involved a spinach gun of some sort. So, and Popeye, it's one of those things that my dad would have been, if he had lived to see it, he would have been very proud. He loved Popeye. So I actually like the movie. One of those few people that I'm like, I put the movie on every year. I get people don't like it, but I like it. But I wouldn't worry, folks. If Spawn goes away, well, Spawn will eventually go away. I mean, no one works on this shit forever. Um, when this is over, if no other option appears, I will just do my own books, and I'll do them my way for certain. Like I've got plans for it. I've got, well, that's all being worked out. So, but I mean, I expect, I mean, like it's only so many. We're looking at 500 copies if I'm doing it myself. Love to get a big publisher on board, but I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to make some stuff first, before that'll ever happen. So we'll see. One step at a time, my friends. One step at a time. All the plans you want, but at the end of the day, you still gotta get your work done. Where are we at with this? I just picked the paper up. What's up with that? Oh, I think I was taking a photograph. Generally, when I take the paper off the board, it's because I'm holding it up to the natural light to get a photo. We'll see. I think that's that, right? Let's go to the next one. That's that. Oh, and it starts back over. Let me put in something really quick. How about this? Let me go in and let me add in. I'll put on something. I'm not gonna end it yet. How about this? Open. Actually, let me take all this and delete it, and then add files. I think it's mixing them up. Give me a second. There we go. Want to see my layouts? These are my roughies. I'll put those in. These are my. So you can see in the bottom left, that's the cover that would come to be. It's just a silhouette with some basic stuff. This is how I basically lay everything out, And these will all go to full color. Go ahead and see if we can. Okay, let me pull that back a little bit. I don't just have like a 30-second. Okay, so he wants to jump 6 minutes. Let's see if we can go to the 3-minute mark. All right, we'll just leave it there. There you go. You can see, like, I just turn the opacity down and start to build the volume up. I don't want to see that though. Why is it not playing? Play. Not. There we go. The controls inside OBS, folks, are pretty minimal, so you just have to bear with me. It's going though. So between now and the 3-minute mark, I'll start drawing. So just give it a second. All right. I'd rather you get to see how I do that versus it just jump. I get wary though showing too many comps to publishers these days. I really think like I would do this now for myself, and then I would probably pick the best 2, maybe 3. I get really wary. I mean, Galloway just posted up some layouts. Like he had like 9 of them, and they're all brilliant. But I'm like, for me, I'm like, man, I would never show them all 9, dude, because you really run the risk of everyone mixing things together. Blah 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 blah. I'm never gonna tell Galloway to run his business, but one second. I normally don't show this part, but I thought I'd record it. So I recorded. There you go. See? Yeah. Galloway's a brilliant illustrator. I just know for me, I'm paring that down to 3 ideas, and then I'll save the other ones. And if they want to see other stuff, then I have them. You know what I mean? If they can't ever decide, but I just think at some point it's you're not really. They're all kind of the same idea. I prefer the idea more than just giving people layouts, because I've done this in t-shirts. You give them layouts and then everyone has an opinion on where something gets positioned. But if I give them a concept, a real mood, a tone, a feeling, if I give them the whole bit, so you'll see me take these to color. If I give them the whole shebang, then they kind of have to pick one. You know, they could say we kind of like this color scheme and we kind of like that layout, fine, but they're not like, what if it was this character? I think when it's too rough, people can have too much input. Kind of happened on the Game Informer cover a bit. Like I took that enough to a point where they picked a different color scheme. Still stand by my original one, but you know, it was some of those more rainbowy. But if I'd given them like 9 different layouts for something that's going to feature 100 characters, we'd be there all night. Even if I gave them 3, sometimes you get to give them a concept. I wouldn't even give them 3 every time. Like if I really have a solid idea. So here, I thought maybe it's like little Popeye, little Bluto, little Olive Oil playing a video game, right? Where Popeye's doing the Dragon Ball Street Fighter, you know? Like that's an idea. And so that's a totally different idea than just posing with the gun, you know? That still gets the same idea. I could give them the spinach gun, but it would be them playing like a Street Fighter style game, you know? I think I didn't submit this one because it really wasn't selling the spinach gun idea. But it's a cool enough idea, and it put all the characters' backs to the cover. You have to watch about putting characters' backs to the cover. When I was doing Monstroids, Kevin Griefus made me do the cover for the Zero issue, where the characters were essentially they had their backs to the thing, and Diamond was like, you can't do that. People don't. They want to see the characters on the cover, and I was like, I didn't choose the layout, man. It's not Rob's fault. So I was like, this is an idea, but this is like more like a first page idea rather than the cover idea. Editing yourself is the hardest thing, folks. You got to make real decisions, you know, and you got to be able to live with them, you know, especially if you get reviews where people are like, I hate that decision you made. And in your mind, you're like, I could have made another decision. You know, but you got to make decisions. This is all happening in real time, so it's not like I'm like uh, speeding this process. Sometimes I'm either looking up some reference or I'm doing something while I'm doing this. Layouts are tough for me. I find layouts to be the hardest. So when some people are like, "Oh, Rob, you drew a lot of stuff, but everything's easy to see," trust me when I say that wasn't easy. To draw a lot of things and make everything easy to read or clear to see. Sometimes it is a little overwhelming when they go, I gotta look at it, but it's all there. It's all clear. It just sometimes people have to readjust. But to make that happen, that's not easy. And some days, folks, I don't do them digitally at all. I do them all on paper. It just depends on how I feel. I prefer, if I can, to do it digitally just because I can resize and move things around easier. But some days I'm not feeling it. I just gotta like sketch it on paper. The cover to issue Spawn issue 5, I initially sketched on paper, and it's a colossal mess to look at, but it is there. It's just I couldn't get the silhouette down digitally. I wasn't feeling it that day. And like anything else, when I sketch at 100% opacity. So these are 100% opacity brushes. Like when I sketch, I tend to sketch with pens. So no erasing. That's basically it. Even though here I'll erase. But I'm just trying to figure out the size of this screen if I'm gonna, you know. It's just, so these layouts are the official covers for Popeye. No, no, no. This was all just for this one cover. I only did one variant. Yeah. No, I just did one variant. So, but this was the idea of doing a spinach gun, but they're doing a fighting game. But I was like, I don't think that's, yeah. So I guess I tried different ways other than just layouts of like, here's me posing with a gun. It was like, maybe this is an idea. I never even showed them this one, to be honest with you. I think this goes to a certain point and I kind of move on. Yeah, I can kind of tell if an idea is a clever idea, but not going to work for what I'm trying to do. Like, what did I want to do? I wanted to do Pluto with the spinach gun. So, as big as that is the better. But I actually draw backgrounds. For me, backgrounds are way easier than figures. So, if I'm having a hard day starting out, and I think this day I was a little brain fried when I started. So, I just started with the one that had a background because none of them really have backgrounds. So, I was like, I'll just start. Once I start drawing three-dimensionally and I laid out a grid, eventually my brain snaps back into like the mode, you know? Hey, Steven showed up. 1 second. Hey, what's up, Steve? Are you too loud?
That's how you make an entry. Oh, hang on. My headset was way too high up.
Steven had his volume up incredibly loud.
Oh, why? I don't know. What's up, man?
What's up? Let me see if I can.
Did I get you in mid conversation?
No, man, it's all good. Let me see. There we go. Put you there so they can see.
Oh, that is sick. What is this?
These were just the layouts to the Popeye cover I did, like my initial ideas. So I was doing the spinach gun thing, but this one I thought it would be fun if it was the Popeyes as kids playing like a Marvel Capcom style game where he had the spinach gun.
Dude, that's
but
awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice idea, but I never even submitted it to him because I'm like, I'm drawing everything but the thing I wanted to draw on this one. You know, it's like I almost feel like this would be better as a first page. I don't know. Like you also run into a problem I was mentioning earlier, Steven, where, and tell me what you think. When characters' backs are facing on the cover, that's generally a no-no. Like I used to get notes. I got notes once from Diamond on Monstrades because the writer wanted me to homage an Avengers cover, and the Avengers happened to be facing with their backs to us, you know, on the cover. And Diamond was like, "Don't do that," and I'm like, I didn't choose it. Like that wasn't me. So, yeah.
I mean, it's based off of the old was it the How to Draw Comics the Marvel way?
I guess, but what they need to do is figure out how to sell comics. You know what I mean? Like we need to how to properly sell things. We don't have a drawing problem. We have a marketing problem.
This is Rob. This is Rob taking off his white glove.
Yeah.
Slapping him right now.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. I did do licensed T-shirts for
the
better part of 10-something years, you know, and it's like those are covers, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like I do understand what it's like to have someone walk when you buy a T-shirt. No one pre-ordered that. No one looked in the, you know, you walk into a store and you see what's there, what catches your eye kind of thing. And sometimes it's a license and sometimes it's just a cool design. Sometimes it's a gimmick, kind of depends.
Yeah.
But on this one, I could just feel the notes, you know, coming. And so at some point I go, I'll just put that idea for somewhere else. Like, it's another idea.
We got Hangin is up in here. Chauncey, what up, guys?
Chauncey's been side ganking you over here on the show, dude.
Yeah, I just the chats over here. Oh my gosh, dude.
Did you come in because your Discord's run amok and no one's modding it and Chauncey and I are busy on my stream? Like, you know.
No, I came in because my wife said, "Hey, you got half an hour."
Oh man. Well, then talk, Steven. Don't let me talk. Tell me what you're doing.
I want you to talk. I'm drawing over here.
No, you're drawing.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. No, she just needs me by 9 p.m. We're good to go.
Oh, excellent. Well, I appreciate you hanging out.
Dude, I want to hang out. That's the thing. I do this every single day. Not going to lie. And then Chauncey is, he hit me up today. He said, dude, I'm coming back with a vengeance. That's right.
Oh, we got
I'm bringing that over here now.
It's the best.
Dude, oh, you got the Spawn Kills Every Spawn cover 2 now?
Yeah, that's up on there, right? I'm just lazy. I'm like, I'm not updating graphics. You know, I got to do a thumbnail too, and I got to update the graphics. But today I was like, I'll just update the stupid graphic. You know?
Yeah. I went over to the comic shop today to try to do the ordering of the your variant cover, and the comic shop was packed, and wife was like, well, why don't we stand in line? I'm like, no, because then he's got to whip out his laptop and then search for the book to see if they have it for orders. I said, no, it's going to take like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm not staying here for this.
I think final call's over.
Back Wednesday.
Yeah, I think final call's over. I think they had to order it.
My comic shop guy has his ways.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, I'm happy to hear it, but you know what I mean? It's just the comic industry is so weird with that, right? Like,
yeah,
the pre-order thing.
Well, they got me.
Like, how do you pre-order?
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll
Well,
put a pin in it.
they had he had gotten me the Ghost Rider issue 1 after like the massive insanity that went through with being sold out.
Oh,
I don't know what they did, but a week later, even after being sold out, he managed to get a copy from me.
Nice.
So I was extremely shocked. I'm like, dude, forever indebted.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I was telling him, I don't know about how you work, but for me, like, if I'm brain dead when I'm working,
Yeah,
right? And this was one of those days where I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I just start with anything with the background, like, because I can just draw boxes, like the figures. Sometimes you're trying to draw like the best figure in the world, or you're having to deal with foreshortening, and you're like, today is not the fucking day, and it is the day, but maybe this hour isn't the hour to do it.
yeah.
So with backgrounds, I'm like, I can draw a grid and a box, like, and I think like after an hour of that, the brain wakes up, right? And then you just start going into the other stuff, flows a lot easier. So even if I never submit a cover or anything with the background, I'll always do one that has something, just so if I'm not in the mood, I can just get moving on drawing boxes and stuff.
What happened to the boy Brandon?
It's his girlfriend's birthday today. He's tubing. She's like, she wants to go on the river and go tubing. And he was like, man, I'm like, hey, you wanted a relationship, you got to do it. But I told him, I said, if you wanted your way out of the relationship, you could just take her to the retro arcade game and go play tubing. Right? Like, if you remember the arcade game tubing.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, man, don't make those suggestions. I was like, I'm trying to help. So he's somewhere on a river right now, getting somewhere. Yeah. He's becoming a baked potato.
Nice.
He's like, I'm gonna call myself the Mighty James. I'm like, yeah, but you're still the Mighty Potato over here.
The Mighty Potato. Yeah, I've only got to speak to him online, not in person.
He'll show up. You'll hang out one day. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah. So I'm over here drawing my own version of Popeye.
Oh, who?
Popeye.
Popeye. You say Popeye, that's a whole nother thing to me.
He got poop in his eye.
The dirty Steven Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I heard you say that the other day. Yeah, dirty Sanchez. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the rest of that sentence.
I didn't do it. I waited till you were here to say it to your face.
Oh, dude, all the time growing up, I was like, okay, I get it.
That's our generation, right?
Yeah. Like, what's dirty Sanchez?
My last name, people would call Duanis, so you figured out. I had my own fair share. So, no, it's Duane. Yes, like Duane. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I was better off when they just went Dunis. Like that, I'll take that.
Duanis.
But the Mexican kids would go, no, it's Duanis. I'm like, you fucking dicks. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
And I go, well, I'm adopted, so I try to win them on that, but. Not a lot of kids felt too sorry for about that stuff.
Yeah.
Our generation is like, ooh, he adopted. Oh, he's adopted. Then they're up and down the score. Hey, he's adopted. Like, it just, why say anything?
It's hilarious. Do anus.
He's got no dad and he's got his anus. Like that stuff.
Man, your life, man. When you told me your backstory, I was like, wow, that's a Netflix series right there.
This kid came down for my signing last week. He drove from Provo. It's 5.5 hour drive,
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, dude. And I know that drive because I've made it many times. And I was like, all right. And he's like, yeah, I'm a film student at BYU and everything. I'm like, oh, and he goes, hey man, I'd like to do a documentary on your career. I'm like, no. No, we're not doing any of that. No, I appreciate it tremendously, but one, I know my luck, I'll get sued to no end. Like I have worked with nefarious dudes. I'll have family members come out. It'll be like it'll end me, Steven. It'll end me, you know. Like, no, I appreciate it. Well, just give me your address. I'll send you some art or something, you know. If you drove out 5.5 hours. I'm gonna send it. Yeah, I'm gonna pay you to not do that, you know.
Man.
It's gonna go wrong for me.
Do you know your real last name?
Yeah, it was Gulius. Yeah. I know my mom. My biological father I never knew. But I know who he is now. I figured all that stuff out. And I'm friends with my biological father had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I'm friendly with one of them. Like they live in Lake Havasu, so I go out and see them once a year now.
So he's Hispanic too?
No, he's white. No, I'm not Hispanic. The guy who adopted me is Hispanic. Frank. Yeah. Frank was great. A real hard ass. Well, not a lot of people like living with him, but he was a good dude and a genuine like hero. Like, I mean, he was always helping people, and my dad did so many things for people that. We had maybe like 100 people show up to his funeral, and it wasn't even advertised. You know, like it was crazy. They're like, we've never seen this many people. I'm like, yeah, he helped everyone. And then most of these people never saw me, so they're looking at me. You're his kid. I just go, yeah. I just don't explain it. I'm not. You know, what are you gonna do? You grew up in New York, though, right?
Yeah, only to the age of 7. So my memory was going to the bodega and back upstairs. That was it.
Did you ever go to Alphabet City?
No, I've heard of it though.
Heard of it because my buddy that wrote Mosaic, the one who flaked on me,
yeah,
he's cousins with Kevin Eastman. He grew up in Alphabet City because I remember he was always like, I want these ruins that look like Alphabet. I want where they live to be like Alphabet. And I looked that up. I'm like, it was a demilitarized zone. It looked like Syria. You know, I was like, fucking what the hell? You know, these people got it rough. Yeah, I'm blocking in Popeye, and I can already tell it. People aren't gonna know it's Popeye, like from the back. You know what I mean? Like that chin.
Though. Yeah.
I think this is why when Scotty does, like, he did that Turtles cover that's out now.
Yeah,
they're from the side. You know what I mean? You don't really see the game. It's there. It's like photoshopped in, but. And I didn't see that till after this was done, but I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I see why you want to see the turtles when it's from behind. It just that's a page 1 maybe, but not a cover.
So these are just layouts.
These are just layouts, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing gets done fast over here, Steven.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that because I'm like, look, man, I gotta slow down. Because I always feel like I got a lead foot on the old brain and hand to draw things.
I think you need to go at the rate at which you're naturally inclined to do. But if you're forcing yourself because, you know, you had a whole career that everyone forced you to, stop that. You know, like give yourself time to rebuild, and then you'll eventually get comfortable doing whatever you're doing on your own. I think, and that's where the speed gets back up, right? Like,
now, that's commonplace for a lot of artists. The problem with me is I get bored drawing.
Oh,
so then when my speed ramps up, it's because I just want to get done with it because I'm like I'm already half asleep.
I see.
You know. But now when I get proper sleep, I actually take my time with my pieces, which is so odd, right?
What's proper sleep for you?
12 hours, I guess.
That's 12 hours.
For so many years, I barely slept. And then now it's as of late, I just been sleeping for like 12 hours. But I'm like a cat now. So weird.
Yeah, I get 7.
Yes, I have to go to bed early because if not, my lungs, I start wheezing. I was like, what the hell's going on in my lungs now? It's like now I'm wheezing when I don't get enough rest. So it's like I rest and then I wake up and I breathe better. So I'm like, all right.
Is that why George Jefferson called her Wheezy?
Probably.
Like, she didn't get enough rest.
Yeah.
She's always yelling at George and shit. Like, I wonder. I do know what you mean, though. I mean, as you get older, like certain things just don't. Certain things you can't do.
It don't work.
Yeah, they just stop working that way.
You gotta get that.
I prefer to start drawing around 4 a.m., but my wife's schedule won't let.
You see, I used to wake up at 4 a.m. to walk, right? To get my burning my calories early in the morning, and 5 a.m. Get the pre-layout stuff done for the day, and then by 7, 8, walking the dog. By 9 o'clock, full work day, right? That's it.
Right.
And that was just a couple of months ago. Then I noticed, I'm like, oh, you know when all this started? When I started doing YouTube. I was like, oh, so when I started doing YouTube, my hours just completely changed up now. Like this is my life right now, YouTube.
Right. Well, you gotta you design full thumbnails for every episode. I just put my head on there. I get, I'm I'll change the color because YouTube. I used to do those they used to call me twice a year, and then go, all your thumbnails look the same. I'm like, well, tell that to Bill Burr. You know what I mean? All of his thumbnails are the same. I don't see you complaining that about him. You know what it is? Just share my stuff. All right, they'll figure it out. People are smart. They'll click on it and realize there's art in 1 second.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They did. I told them this. It wasn't like I was just talking shit to myself. But I mean, that's why I was like, man, your thumbnails are dope. But they probably take you an hour or two, right?
On average, yeah, anywhere from about 45 minutes if I'm not talking to nobody. But if I do it live online, then we're looking at an hour and a half plus, as Jonesy can attest to that.
Right.
So, but for the most part, when I was running out of ideas, to do something, then I just do the cover online.
I see.
But I'm from the old school production days, you know what I'm saying? Where I like to edit, I like to throw music, I like to, cut to the different angles, and I wanted to do that. So when I found OBS, I was like, I'm digging this. This is exactly what I wanted,
Yeah. You can do it all live now, though.
I can do it all live. The problem is they're in the beginning. If you guys ever watched the older, I guess the older stuff, which is what, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, you'll see me struggling to memorize what was what, where the buttons were and everything, because it was just that learning curve with OBS. But
well, you can also record the sources separately. So you can make a longer video if you wanted. It doesn't have all. That's what I do. Even now while we're working, I'm recording my screen on another version of OBS separately. So I save all as much as I can.
Which is smart because that's what you utilize to play in the background, right?
Yeah, I just forgot I even did these. I was just going through. I'm like, oh, I got all this stuff. I'll put this in.
Nice.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I was working on memberships today.
Oh yeah, you got to make exclusive membership stuff, right? You got to send them.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks of me working on it, trying to hash everything out. What can I do? What's not going to impede me from illustrating what I'm doing, on a daily basis. So it has to be all meshed into one, and then magically I have to put it out there and memorize it. So what I did was I did a cheat sheet and I printed it out so I can go ahead and kind of mark off the things that I have to do for that week.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so then it just hammers out.
Nice. Yeah, folks, definitely go follow Steven. What's your official YouTube channel? Is it Sketch Sanchez? I want to memorize this.
Sketch Art of Sanchez.
Sketch Art of Sanchez. Okay. What I should do, man, is I should add that in. You can add each other in the titles on YouTube.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so I'll at you since you showed up on that.
I'm looking at olive oil. Jesus.
Yeah, you just can't tell. That's the problem. I ran into this. Like with color, you would, but then it's yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way you drew it. It looks so good. You know, like that's Bluto. Of course, you know
Oh, he makes
Bluto.
it kind of.
It looks so good. So who's gonna be fighting in the background?
In the background, it will be the full Popeye doing like the fireball, and then it would be Bluto with the guns, you know, like
Yeah.
Cable. But then I was like, I'll just do him big, you know, because yeah. Already I'm feeling the I don't know. I can already don't know about this one. Cause even like the game console is gonna go right there, and then what's gonna get in the way. So it's just despite what people think I do spot blacks, it's strategic, you know? Like I want the lines, but spotting blacks is necessary. I just try not to use spotting blacks as a cheat to get out of drawing things. Like I try to use it for composition, you know?
Yeah. I attest to that. What? Chauncey, you having a stroke? Wait, how many people?
So have you hit your 4,000 hours yet? Or how close are you?
Yeah, man. After episode 100, hit the 4,000 hours, got monetized.
Pew, 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 pew. Right.
Heck yeah.
And now you're working on your comic. All right,
Yeah.
dude. Coda Warriors? Did I get it right? Did I remember Coda?
You know what? I like your version better.
Coda Warriors?
Koga.
Koga.
Yeah, like Toga.
Toga. All right. I thought it was like Coda. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but gotcha. Koga.
It's I guess it's a province in Japan or something.
Okay.
I don't know. My guess is
I'm looking forward to it.
So am I. I can't wait for it to start it. I have no idea.
Every time I bring it up, you get so silent. You know, you're like,
well, it's been in the works for 20 years. That's why.
I understand.
And I have a nice little poster that haunts me in front of me every single day.
Oh, you made yourself a promo?
Yeah, it's a full-on movie poster. It's just every single day. It's in front of my desk. It's like, all right, okay, I see you.
I have that Youngblood Year One poster I got at Comic-Con in '95 that never got done. That Kurt Busiek was going to write.
Yeah.
They'd made the poster but never drew it, and I just always put that. It's up on the wall, like, yeah, see, you can announce something that never gets done, like, and give away full 24 by 36 posters or something. It's a big poster, man. Like,
you got it.
Yeah. So Koga Warriors. Awesome.
Yes, we got Koga Warriors. We have I guess I would have to post up the well, you know what I was, because I'm gonna post it up in the OC section on the Discord, so that way you guys can check out the characters and everything. I'll post up the old stuff. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, why not? Are you going to stream any of it, or are you going to keep it, like, you know, hidden and then?
Oh, that's right. You don't watch all my streams.
You know, despite what you might think, Steven, I fairly busy.
Rob was a super fan.
No. I don't even watch my streams. Like I move the stream off the monitor and just talk to people. You know?
I 100% I do the same thing. I'm like, nah, I'm done.
I have to bring up what am I doing on here? Oh, I'm doing that. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man. It's a Saturday. We got 4 sweet people in here. Look at that. 16.6 thousand followers on Sketchcraft and only 4. And I'm one of them.
And you're one of them.
I'm one of them because I'm watching on the iPad.
Yeah.
And I've already slammed on that like button, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we tell them to flick it.
Flick the... No, I can't say that.
See? Almost got you. Almost got you. So, okay, for all the people that don't watch, what is your, like, because I know, like, I myself will not be streaming the making of the comical. I've done that before.
Yeah.
And that's a bad idea. Like, there'll be strategic bits here and there, you know? like especially as it comes time to promote. But during the making of, there's virtually no reason, because then people just, I don't know about you, but people would always ask me, so when's it coming out? When's it coming out? And you can't tell them 12 months from now. Like that's just
100%
not
true. Yes. I get that all the time. When's it coming out? And I keep promoting it.
yeah,
hey,
that's what.
if Joe Mad had his battle chasers, right, and he was promoting it little by little, he was constantly getting the same thing. And then after like what, issue 8, I think, or issue 9, when it dropped, that was it. That was the last book until what, 10, 15 years later, the issue 10 dropped. They were constantly asking him.
And to be fair, I'm a fan of Ludo's work. I think Ludo is a very good artist.
I follow him on Instagram. He's awesome.
But
should he have done issue 10? No.
No, it should have been its own series.
Everyone's waiting for freaking Joe Mad. You know what I'm saying?
But see, you're getting ahead of it. The whole reason, the whole reason that issue even got done was it was part of a stretch goal for the video game on the Kickstarter.
Right.
Me and my wife were on the road driving to Casa Bonita in Colorado, right, when it launched. And I was like, and he was like, well, it was already launched, but that's when he made the announcement. If you get to a certain stretch goal, he will draw issue 10 and complete it. Right. That was the promise that he was going to, if it was like, I'm going to get a guy to draw 2 or 3 issues a year, I would have been like, all right. I mean, I'm not putting in any more money for that, like that's fine, but do your own thing if that's, and so I felt a little like, I wasn't too happy when it was like, I don't care if J. Scott Campbell himself had come and drawn it. I was like, no, the deal was you drew it. There's no reason not to, other than you just don't want to do it,
Yeah.
So
that was the disappointing part, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I still bought the comic and I didn't care. I was like, that's fine. As long as you give me a good story now, then I didn't read it because I want to read all the issues again. It makes so much sense. I bought the video game, which is fun up until an extent where you can't pass a specific level, and then you're like, okay, I guess I'll redo all of this again to maybe power up more with my characters, and I do it again and I still can't pass that level, and I'm like, I'm stuck. So
it needed to just be a straight Final Fantasy style JRPG.
Yeah.
They tried to add this like loot replayability, that sort of roguelike-esque mechanic to a Diablo, and it's like, don't just make it a straight, like, I don't understand what's so hard about this, other than they just don't want to do it. They don't want to write the giant script, but the video game should have been the basic adaptation of those first 9 issues with whatever thing he wanted to do for a complete story to make you, because the whole point of Battle Chasers was that it was like Final Fantasy VII on paper. Exactly. He can say now, or people can say now, but it looks like Warhammer. I'm like, no, it was Final Fantasy VII. That's what he was talking about. That was the vibe. That's why that one dude did that variant cover for the Final Fantasy VII style Battle Chasers one on issue 10. I'm like, he was invoking that. That's all we want. And I don't care if it's from the side. Visually, that video game is brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you had just done a straight JRPG, like at the scale of the PlayStation 1, maybe the problem is they've done so much AA or AAA development. They're trying to develop at a level that they can't financially do. So make the scale of the game the same as it would have been on PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I feel that way for all independent developers. Develop at the 32-bit level scale, at the 16-bit, 8-bit if you've never done anything. Because good luck finishing anything in a video game. But once you get don't ever exceed 32-bit level scale, because those games were made, not Final Fantasy, but you could make a 32-bit game with 7 people. Back in the day. You can't do that now with a AA game, or a AAA game. You need 30, 40, 50 people. So,
did you mess with gaming a while back? Like getting into programming?
I can't. I don't do well with languages. The last time I programmed into any coding was I had to rebuild websites in Perl for a class where it was all scripted, no visuals.
You in Perl?
Yeah, and I just enough to memorize how to do it, and then I
Yeah.
got the hell out of there. I was like, man, I draw, dude. Like that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not
I'm
doing
I'm
this.
just an HTML guy myself.
Yeah,
You win Pearl.
I did. It's
Dang.
not a fun class, man.
Pass CSS or CCS or Java or whatever. That's how you make a fool of yourself. You see that?
Real fun that stuff.
Mm.
So
A little evening sketching over here. I'm doing my own version of Popeye. I'm like, screw it.
oh yeah.
But I don't want to show it because it's gonna scare away the 3 people that are in here.
A little passive aggressive.
That's my white glove to your face. No. Let me see.
They all watch the streams after I'm done streaming. Even you. You're never on. Like you're rarely on live. You're always like, I watched it like at midnight. That's why I get all my views around like 1 a.m.
Oh yeah. No, I watch it in the morning when I'm having my coffee.
Mm.
Then after that, I have my morning constitution. Oh, that's what we do it around here now, guys. It feels weird. I'm on the other side of the table because normally, I got the music, I got the weird beats. But we're on Rod's channel.
We're on Rod's channel.
He's God on here.
Oh, yeah. Well, my channel is minimal effort.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
look at that production work you're giving here. Look at that gorgeous background. Great.
I thought I had the music on.
Oh, you got music?
Yeah, there's something playing. I mean, it wasn't on. It's normally on. I just forgot to play, but I don't really listen to it. I turn it off on my end. It's for everyone else.
Oh.
I don't know why they want to listen to anything. I'm like, just put on your own music. That's what I do. I'm listening to separate music in my earpiece and all you know.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing, but I do find it entertaining when I'm watching your feed and you have music on, because I'm like, well, I don't have my music. Because then when you talk, I want to listen.
Yeah, but I hate the damn DMCAs I get, even for music I pay for, and that happens all the time. Like,
yeah, it only happened once to me.
Happens to me all the time, man.
Yeah,
I got a DMCA for breathing. So, no shit, dude. Like, Warner's Media Group was claiming that me breathing was a German yoga CD from 1997. Because it was just me drawing, and it was. I went on to Twitter when it was still Twitter. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
is it a German?
And it wasn't just one, man. It was like 50 in a day, dude. Like, it was like all over my fucking shit.
You can't make this stuff up, guys. Oh, snap.
Right. I looked at it. It was a German yoga CD. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I can't even breathe now.
Oh man, you get no respect. No respect.
Hey, Ashley's in the house. Gang Feather. What's up, man? Ashley's great. If you don't follow Gang Feather, follow her.
I don't know who Gang Feather is, but I'll check out.
She's great. Yeah. She's awesome. You will definitely freak out by her work process, Steven. She draws everything like poster size.
What?
Yeah, every panel. Yeah, it's brilliant pencils, but even we've talked about it many times. And she's like, "Hey, man," I'm like, "You know what? If that makes you happy, do it.
Yeah,
as long as you're productive." And she's a workhorse.
Gang Feather,
yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You've got to have seen.
Yeah, no. I follow her on Instagram. I hope this is the right person. Hang on, let me see. Let me check out the shorts. Trying to see Gang Feather.
She's got like an on-comma Ralph Bakshi kind of like art style. Super dope.
There's 571 subscribers, guys. Look at that.
She's in 50,000 now.
Am I on the wrong?
Yeah.
I'm on the
I
wrong
mean, on
one?
Instagram or Twitch? Because she's on
No.
Twitch. She's not on YouTube.
Oh, she's not on YouTube. No, because she's got
No,
a
she's on
YouTube account that I'm looking at.
No, yeah, no, she's not.
Yeah, that's YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, she's on Twitch. On the old Twitchers.
Okay. I'll check it out. Twitch. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Where we at?
I'll send you her Instagram so you can see.
Do I have it? Yeah, I have Instagram on this iPad. There's like an ancient iPad I have right now.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, it's downloading Instagram.
There, I sent you her work. Yeah,
Okay.
Ashley's great. Ashley says, I just started posting YouTube again after 5 years. Oh, nice. I did not know that, Ashley. I'll make sure I'm following. Yeah, I used to do a weekly podcast with her and Brandon back in like 2014, 2015. We did for like 3 years. And it was always like, Ashley doesn't watch anything like we watched except for like One Punch Man. Like we covered like all those episodes from the first season, which was super fun. But we'd be doing movie news. She's like, no, I don't know that. I was like, man, okay, how about this? So
Gang Feather. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's been on the stream a few times.
Okay, so your Gang Feather account is still this. Okay, it's got to be the same. I'm gonna subscribe.
I sent you her Instagram on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to download on my ancient iPad Air 2.
Oh yeah, you get the iPad.
Dude, I have to like slam on the screen in order for apps to open.
So
we got over here. We go. Here we go. We got the
yeah. Ashley, we covered the first season of One Punch Man. The only one worth watching anyway. Let's be honest. It all went downhill after season 1.
Yeah, I saw season 1, then season 2. I mean to go back to see it, and then it's just like I don't care.
No, I mean the problem is Madhouse, who animated the first season, they only ever do 1 season of anything. They have like some internal rule, and it's really frustrating because one of the things they did on the first season was the director went to, because there's all these like, how do I draw it? There's all these like animators who post crazy fights in Japan. They just do like random shit that they're posting on like Twitter or Instagram in Japan, right?
Yeah.
They do just different weird things. So he went and found all these artists who did different styles, and then every fight was animated by a different artist. So they all have like a different, they're all completely different, you know? Yeah. And it just brings this like energy to the show that doesn't exist anywhere, you know? And with season 2, that all goes away. They went with the studio that does Food Wars, which I like Food Wars, but it's a low budget studio. It's a colossal step down. You know?
Rob, did you ever watch Whack Fu?
That's on Kama, yeah.
Yeah. Netflix is where I saw it.
Yeah, but the studio's on Kama. They're a game studio on Kama.
Right. But have you seen Whack Fu?
Yeah.
Okay.
All 3 seasons, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because the first
Treasures of Caribbean.
Yeah, the third season was like ass for me, but
yeah, that's them doing Flash. They're doing a lot of Flash stuff, and so they were like finding a way to make that on a. They do that on those. The shows and movies get funded by taxpayer credits in France. Yeah, so the movie was funded through like tax incentives and stuff. So they were like, how can we do it like on a budget? And then every season or so they'd bring in someone from Japan to do something. So it got a little better. There's a OAV they did that's all animated by a Japanese studio, the Whack Fu. There was an OAV about like how the different gods became the way they were.
Yeah.
And that's pretty dope. And then there's the Treasures of Caribbean, which is my personal favorite. And the Treasures of Caribbean leads into the movie Dofus the Julith or whatever. Yeah. Very well animated.
Well, Gang Feather, I started following you on both platforms. Fantastic artwork. I really dig the animated look.
Yeah.
That's sick. I'm liking like crazy right now because a lot of this stuff is amazing.
And she draws everything at like 48 by 124.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. It's brilliant to see.
I was confusing you with another person I follow on here, and you're probably already following them. Let me see if I can find her. She's always.
I can't wait for the day Ashley has a gallery show, because she literally can do a real gallery show, like with her stuff, dude. It's super awesome.
Yeah, Somariva, another great artist over there in Australia.
Oh yeah, Reggie. I know John.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It's like we all
He's a huge
travel in the same circles back in the days. Were you on Pencil Jack?
No, I lurked.
Ah,
I lurked. Yeah.
This guy likes to lurk.
Yeah, John Rush used to post coloring tutorials on Pencil Jack, in case you think I made that up. Like, right?
Yes.
No, I was there. That was when I was like in college and working at Kinko's. It was just I didn't have any time to draw even in our college, you know. So like that's when I focused on just construction and like line quality and stuff, because that's all I had time to do. You know, you go to art college and then you're not drawing. You spend all your time doing like 3D. You're like, that's not what I came here for.
Yeah, I went to Full Sail, and all we did was like study like for 3 months. It was just studying the most inane stuff ever. I was like, I came here for CGI. You know,
I went there to do 2D animation, even though I didn't want to be an animator. I just thought it would make me a better artist, like Jeff Smith. You know?
Yeah.
I figured I could take that into comics, and they just switched it 8 months in the first year to a 3D thing. It's like, well, we got to get you placed. I'm like, I don't want to get placed in a job. I just want to get better at a job. And the faculty advisor was like, well, maybe you should have gone to a fine art school. I'm like, maybe I should put my fucking boot through your throat. Like I was like, fucking tell me what, you know what I mean? Can you refund my fucking money? I'll go to a fine art, you know, get me the hell out of here. I want a refund, you know? Talking like Bob Lazar, this guy. He looked like the dad from Heroes, the cheerleader's dad. But he talked like Bob Lazar. Yeah, it looked just like that guy.
The dude with the glasses. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he had glasses the whole bit. Oh yeah, maybe, you know, I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe you just shut up. You know, fucking this place. $1,100 a class, you know.
$1,100.
Yeah, I got the deal too. I mean, my tuition was initially only for $42,000, but by the time they switched to 3D, everything was like these kids were getting in for $100,000 before taxes, and interest cranked my $42,000 up to $70,000 before I bought it out. You know.
Yeah. So
I'm super like sympathetic to student loan. What do you call it? Vultures, right? It's predatory. All of the student loans are predatory. If they have interest rates, they should be non-interest rates. You should just be loaning the money and paying it back. No interest rates. Period. But if at 18 you can't get a loan for a car, but you can get $100,000 loan for some education. You're right. No problems. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, this country sometimes, man, get me started.
Okay. I found her. Is Gang Feather, you still here?
Yeah, she's there.
Okay. So the one I got her confused with, which was Kaylia Lee. Jeez, man, this one's hard. Kayla Leanna. That's her Instagram.
Oh, I don't know that.
And the style was somewhat similar, and that's why I was like, I wasn't sure if that was you or not.
No.
Yeah, but she's
Gang Feather. You just type in Gang Feather.
I know, but I think the name might have popped up because I probably had seen you and her speak at one time.
100%.
On one of your videos, which is probably what stuck in my head.
Yeah,
but their styles are really up there, man. That's really cool. I don't know if you even see her. I'll send you the link to her thing.
Yeah, there's some great cartooning going on that just doesn't get noticed by mainstream publishers, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's total bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Let me see. There, I sent you her thing.
Awesome. I'll check it out for certain.
Kayla Leanna, comic and anime artist. Yeah, she's on Patreon and Etsy.
See, Steven, you would have liked this layout. This is the knuckle in the face layout.
Let's see that one.
Right. This is like the Steven Sanchez. Chippa, right?
Hell yeah. Full action, guys.
I was gonna wrap anchors around his hand like Wolverine claws. Right? Like that was
okay.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. He'll be like Wolverine, but he'll have anchors on his hands.
So they got you for another variant cover?
No, I just did these layouts. These are my layouts for the one.
Oh, so this is just you're done. Yeah, you're completely done.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, so you're doing
this
this
is the one
fun.
cover. No, I did these for that one cover.
Okay,
but 3 options.
But what are you doing this for right now? Is this for fun, or is just you just want to?
This is a video.
So you're just doing this for a video's sake?
No. Look, it's already recorded. This was me when I was laying out the cover, Steven.
Dude, I'm still getting used to your format. I keep thinking you're drawing this live right now.
No, I'm not drawing it live.
My gosh. See?
Did this like a couple months ago.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay.
Shelby Robertson calls them my fake streams. He goes, "Oh, Rob's fake streams." Right? I was like, "It's funny."
Streams. Dude, you bamboozled me.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna wonder why I'm drawing the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, right. What you done? Oh my gosh, dude. You got me. You got me.
Yeah, so I know.
All right, cool. I'm following Gang Feather on both.
No, I'm working on Spawn right now.
Hey, oh, you're allowed to show that, right?
No.
Yeah, I'll get him one day, guys. Don't worry about it.
I'm recording it.
I'll fool him and trick him into it. What time is it? It's 8:50. We got time. I kept looking at the covers. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. You're drawing for another cover for Popeye.
No.
Time, man.
No. Inception Sanchez. That's funny. Chauncey's got jokes.
You were inside my head. Yeah, man. He completely like kicked the last two.
It's not a strange concept. Why do we always have to draw live? I don't understand this, like
because it makes you a pro, bro.
Oh, I'm not a pro. I just make imaginary art. I make fake art over here.
You know what I'm saying? If you erase, you're not a pro.
I mean, when people put up 15-minute videos of them in their sketchbooks, that's not live, but I guess they don't show it when they're live. I don't think this is strange. I don't think this is a hard concept,
No, it's not. It's just, it's something that I'm not really used to. I mean, I see you do it all the time, right? So, but even right now, I was like, oh, I don't think, do you ever draw live?
Do I ever draw live? Yeah, I drew live on your stream yesterday. Like for a whole hour, Steven.
Wait, hang on, guys. You gotta clarify something. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. What I meant was drawing live on the screen because he's drawing right now. He's drawing live right now. I get that.
You can go into my YouTube and find plenty of live digital drawings. Probably the only thing I don't stream is I don't stream like roughies and layouts and stuff.
Right.
Because I don't like people giving me suggestions while I'm figuring out the idea.
Really?
So I wait till
no one ever gives me anything. It was like, all right.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and I have a different experience in life, Steven.
It's so weird. That's like, I guess because I shut people down right off the bat.
Yeah, I've done that too, but that doesn't stop them. I mean, Ashley's got the same problem on her Twitch. She'll tell you.
Really?
Like when she's doing thumbnails, everyone's especially the younger kids. They all got something.
It's like musicians in a mall. It's like, can you play? No.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
It's like, no, I'm here for me.
There was this one guy who was like, I don't know, man. I think he was he did like indie colors, but he took himself very seriously because he was like a teacher too during the day.
Yeah.
And we were kind of friendly, fine. This is like 2011, right? And I was coloring this cover. It was an Enslaved. Remember the game Enslaved?
Sounds
I was
familiar.
doing a cover. Yeah. So I was doing this cover. We're going to do it for Girls of Gaming issue 9. And I drew it J. Scott Campbell-y because that's what I was doing at the time for Big Dog. So I was trying to keep the same vibe going. But I was painting it, and the game's very colorful. It's like post-apocalyptic, but you know that colorful apocalyptic, right? Like it's like beautiful end of the world, not ugly end of the world. So they're posing, and the background is all warm. It's all like browns. I was doing an undercoat, right, where like I paint the browns and the purples and get the earth because I was gonna paint all the foliage rather than draw it. I was gonna paint the foliage using like textured chalk brushes and stuff on top.
Yeah.
And so I'm just laying down all this base, and the guy's like, I just think the piece is too brown, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to paint over. It's no big deal. And then he just kept going there. Yeah, but it's just too brown. I'm like, bro, you got to shut up. You know what I mean? You gotta stop. I get you. I don't need your help on this one. You know, finally, I get you're like a teacher and you're students, you're trying to help out. I don't need your help. You know, I didn't ask for it. So, like if you sent me a note behind the screen, sometimes I have friends who go, hey, I see what you're trying to do. You know, if you did this, maybe you get there. But I always preface it, feel free to delete and never even respond to this. You know what I mean? Don't feel like I'm like trying to art direct anybody. You know, sometimes, but
that's how more you in the future. I don't think, Rob, it's too brown.
I know. So that's what got me the artist of the month. That cover got me artist of the month at Imagine FX, though.
Dude, I can just see you just going back to that dude and like, is it too brown now? Artist of the month, biatch.
Oh, I did. No, I did. I was made. That's when I was on the live stream. Live stream used to have a page, but they would like, live stream was like pre-Twitch for artists and stuff. And so, I was definitely clowning him there because he just wouldn't shut up. And he was, "Why teach?" And I'm like, if you know my history with art schools, it's the last fucking thing I want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear your fucking opinion about teaching. Like, I'm not interested. So I'm like, well, I'm doing this for real. This isn't a classroom assignment. This is actually a cover that's going to be published nationwide. It'll be in Barnes and Nobles next fucking week. I know what I'm going to do. Don't worry about it. So that's my problem with the Vice. Like, it only works if someone's going for something, but they somehow like they're not getting it. You got to know what they're going for. You can't like interject what you want them to go for.
Did you read Chauncey's comment?
Oh yeah, Rob is a pro at the bait and switch. Let me see. I'll post. I can post that, right? Yeah, I can show this one. Yeah, Rob's a pro at the bait and switch, like the versus idea. No, it's not an idea yesterday. Look, initially I was going to go at Sketch Jam, but there's already an artist named Sketch Jam.
Yeah, it's right.
So then I'm like, well,
Sketch
it's you and me. Yeah, I mean, I could put Sanchez versus Sketchcraft, or I was going to do Sketch X Sketchcraft. I think is what I first told you. Yeah. But I fucking hate Elon Musk. I don't want the word X in anything I do. So, I'm going to get political on my show. On your show, I won't do it. But over here, fuck that guy. He just compared himself to Kim Jong-un yesterday. He put up a picture of him and Kim Jong-un. You know what the difference is? Nothing. I don't see any difference. I'm like, this fucking guy. This fucking apartheid motherfucker. So, I don't fucking like him. So I took the X out. I'm like, well, just go versus. And then people are going to expect. One day, I think we probably will do something where like, hey, you draw a fucking Joker, I'll draw a Joker, and then Sanchez will win every time. Like, you're way fast. You're way faster than me. No, you will win, dude. Like, 100%. Like, yes.
Stop.
Yes. He'll win. He'll win. Now I'll do. How about we'll do Chauncey versus Sketchcraft? That I'd like to see, right? Chauncey, come on. Watch, you'll kick all our asses. Chauncey busts out the fucking the Bob Ross of art, right?
You're the guy that has a 5-issue comic book deal with Todd McFarlane, and you're making me seem like the good guy. No, I'm the evil
I
villain
didn't
of
draw
love
those 5
story.
issues fast though. We're talking. We have an hour, right? So
Yeah.
like an hour is like where I come up with like the thing that I will eventually do. You know, it's not where I come up with the thing we post.
Right.
Try to describe that to people. That's why like the scribbly thing is nice with the opaque Posca pens, because I can kind of do my sketchy thing and it looks somewhat like a finished thing, but it's not. It's just like it's all loose. It's not, you know what I mean, dude, when things aren't really there. How do I say this in art? Like I used to do these like 10 years ago, I did $10 sketches, right? And it was just because I was doing like 10 of them a day. And I just need to make $100 every day because I wasn't getting paid on time on this fucking gig.
Yeah.
So those sketches went everywhere. The problem is people try to color them. You can't color them. They're all real loose lines. You know what I mean? You gotta looser out when you when people try to color that loose shit and then they go, all your art looks stupid when people color it. You're like, oh no, you know, and they're like, this is Sketchcraft. No, it's really not. You know,
Rob
like,
did that to himself.
Yeah, I blame myself, you know. So
it's like that fuse blew up in my face.
Yeah.
Is that what you charge? $10 per sketch?
No, this was 10 years ago. It's just I just needed to generate a lot of money fast, and at the time I had no name. Now I don't do anything for less than like $80, dude, you know. So, unless it's some rando thing I put in my store for 40. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your standard? Like if you did, I'm not sure if you're doing commissions or not, but what if you did 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17? That's which was your preferred?
11 by 17? No, we would do like a 9 by 12.
9 by 12.
I try to do photo sizes because it's easier to get, you know, frames and shit. So like an 8 by 12, you're looking at like 150 to 250, and then 400 if we're getting into color pencil and stuff.
And we're talking full color?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 150. I mean, look, I treat commissions like anyone should be able to get them. You know, now if I were Todd McFarlane and I knew they could flip them for 10 grand, that's a problem. Right? Because then some guy's paying me $400, but they're not going to flip my art for $4 grand, not yet. So, if I hit that, if I ever hit, well, look, see, if I'm deprecating, you say I'm deprecating. If I give myself some praise, you say I'm full of myself. You can never fucking win with someone from New York. You know what I mean? You can never win from a guy from the Bronx and shit. There's always gonna be some fucking thing, you know.
Hang on a second, son. What you can say? Oh,
yeah, there's always gonna be some fuck. Yeah, this is exactly like that. All right, I get along in New York. All right, when I go there, I get more along in New Jersey, but I get along just fucking fine in the city. All right, like
great.
No one comes up to me asking if I want a photo. Put it that fucking way. All right. But it's true. That all being said, if I were in that position, I would do pre-made things and then just sell them at a price. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I do feel like there was an artist, I won't say what they were because they told me not to, but a very well-known artist whose kids were asking them one day to sketch for them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here you go," and they gave him the sketch, and the kid put it on eBay and sold it for $4 grand, and their mom found out and had to like have them donate the money to charity, and like it was like you can't draw for your kids, man.
Nice.
Like imagine if Bruce Timm did like an acrylic sketch for his kid. You know that's. Let me give you an example. Chris Sanders, the guy who drew Stitch, is a voice Stitch. Yeah. Well, it was just at Comic-Con, and he's got like this watercolors are 10 grand.
Ooh,
you know, and like, but if he did you like a little watercolor sketch, you could. So that I do fear, you know. But I think I try to put it like $30 to $40 an hour. It's kind of how I just rate things because that's what I would get paid in video games, you know.
Right.
So if I know it's going to take me 6 hours, that's 6 times 4, you know, so 240, right? If I know it's going to take me 2 hours, like those the scribbly sketch covers, right, might take me an hour or 2 hours, and that's, you know, that's $80, you know. So there you go, you know. And if you can do it a little faster, hey, then you made your break. But I do think you have to give yourself a rate at some point, you know, like even if it's for commissions and stuff. Like,
hey, Rob Doc, They want it's in the chat, guys. They want a documentary on your life.
Oh yeah, you want to see me get sued? The minute I start fucking
You get sued. You can make stuff up. It's your life.
That's exactly how you. Yeah, then everyone goes, "You made shit." Didn't a comedian just get hit for that, making shit up? And he was like, "Actually, I blended stories from people I knew and into his
I
life."
blended stories. That's a nice way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, he made shit up. Don't do that.
It's doctored up, bro.
Yeah, I'll be like, this time I lived in the Bronx when I was 7, and I moved to Florida. Like, I tried to buy the Thundercats once. You know?
This is Rob mishmashing my life in a week's worth of time of knowing me.
Very quickly, I just absorb and take. You know,
like, what can I make up?
It all happened really fast.
Yeah, it all happened. That's the name of my book. It all happened really fast. Oh man, that was great. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I think it was Heenan Ming.
Hassan Minaj.
Hey, man, New Yorkers say Heenan Ming.
Yeah.
Heenan Ming. Hey, I was in the neighborhood. Oh yeah. Chauncey says, not yet. The Life of Rob Duenas, a Netflix feature. It should be a Netflix feature. I'd watch it. I watch all 3 episodes.
Yeah, very, very entertaining.
Just him sitting down at the desk all day. That's my life. The reason a biography can't be in the fiction section of the library.
It'll get to the part where I complain about Elon Musk, and then they'll ban my book in Florida.
I almost did an ad roll for the Discord. I'm just so used to being live on by myself. Oh, I got 100 episodes, dude. That's a lot. You have to have what? How many episodes in your bankroll? Let me see.
Oh, videos. I got like 2 grand.
I
hit 1 million views a long time ago, but it didn't change anything. I don't see any money from it, you know.
So you're telling me this is monetized right now?
Yeah, this is monetized.
Do you have it set to aggressive?
No, I just set to whatever.
Like, what a-hole would have to put the monetization to aggressive?
No, why would you do that?
Dude, I looked at it. I was like, no, I can't do that.
No,
let's see.
No, personally, I subscribe to YouTube Premium, so I never see ads anyway. You know?
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I watch too much YouTube. If I had to give up everything, YouTube would be the one thing I keep paying for no ads. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see.
And then Crunchyroll would be second.
You subscribe to Crunchy?
100%.
Oh, 100%. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, that's worth its weight in gold, man.
Do you follow Robert De Jesus?
Robert De Jesus.
Or Rob De Jesus?
Rob Jesus. I probably do. I'm not familiar with the name.
Just trying to see if you had followed him. It's really good.
Yeah.
He looks like a lot of anime chibis.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. I don't recognize the name.
Let me make sure I got I know his last name is De Jesus. I gotta make sure it's Rob. Don't you Robs all know each other?
We don't generally get along.
Oh.
Like, you ever talk to a Rob? You're like, yeah, generally Robs don't like one another, but it's weird because like my colorist is Rob and I get along with them. Like, this is the first Rob I've never had issues with.
Let me see. Yeah, Rob De Jesus art. Robert De Jesus. Hang on, I'll send you his thing. Yeah, he's really good. I've been following him since 1999. Ouch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he had a nice little website. It was called like Ninja something.
You remember what was his name? His name was like Francis Tsai, Tsai.
That name is familiar.
He was the guy showing like how to do coloring tutorials and stuff like in 98, 99, 2000 on YouTube. Polytronic or something like Polytron or something like that.
I'd have to see it. Yeah.
He had some stroke, dude, where he couldn't he had to like learn to color with his eyes. He built some technology to
Really?
get to like draw. Yeah, he eventually passed away. Sad to say, he had some weird stroke, but he was like Polytron or something. He was like the guy. That's how I learned how to like trap lines in Photoshop. You know what I mean? He was the only guy like blogging about that, like in '99, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
really good artist.
That's good, guys. Hey, it's been nice chatting it up with you guys. I gotta bounce, man. It's 9:08.
He's got a bounce.
Yeah, we're on a how many hour difference? 2 hour difference?
2 hour difference.
Yeah, 2 hour difference. 9:08 on Florida time. Mr. Dueñas lives in Idaho.
You normally I'm making dinner or eating dinner right now, but the wife got a some masseuse appointment at 6. I'm like, all right, then I guess we're making dinner late.
Fancy.
I know her emotional friend is giving.
Her friend.
If you've ever watched Stern, it's a Sal the stockbroker reference. Your emotional support.
And I haven't
friend.
watched Stern since the late 90s.
See, and I know you got to go, but I'll end it with this. When Eric the actor died is when I tuned out. It had nothing to do with the quality of the show. It's just he was such a villainous presence for like 12 years that I genuinely miss. I didn't miss Jackie when he left, when Artie left, whatever. But when Eric passed away, I was like, no one gave Stern more shit than Eric, and I missed it. So I have every appearance of Eric on audio. 10 parts, 6 hours, like 70 hours. And once a year, anytime I travel, I just leave it on.
Right.
You know, and I just listen to him give Stern shit for like
wow.
Yeah. So there you go, man. But
Insane.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out, dude.
You got it, man. Had fun. Good seeing you guys. Jonesy, nice meeting. Was it Gang Feather?
Yeah, and I'll be sure to add your YouTube page on the title when I'm done.
Hey, if you want, man. Good to go.
Yeah, I will do that.
All right, guys. Be good, be safe, and I'm out. Check it out. Peace. Check it out. Check it out. Pew! See that? Pew. That's that good stuff right there, guys. All right, how do I log off?
You just leave. You just close the browser. You're gone. You just close the browser.
All right, Rob. I'll see you. All right, bye.
Yeah, this if you're wondering, this part right here, I thought maybe he would have the Dragon Ball burst, but quickly I found it covered up too much of the Bluto to make that happen, so I held that idea. You're like, it's so quiet, Rob. Just talk to yourself. Just talk to yourself for the next hour or two. I'll keep streaming until she gets home, and when she gets home, then I'm gonna bail. Using Warhammer shapes on old Bluto there. Warhammer. His Popeye's back leg is funny. It's stretched way out there, and that's actually how I drew in high school. Those leg shapes. It's funny, man. Some of the stuff still sticks, you know. And to a certain age, it's still there. I ended up not making him stretch so far in the final one. I brought it in because it was a bit much. Mega says it's not talking. Here, I'll put it on. Mega says it's not talking to itself. It's talking to your computer monitor. Yeah, yeah. Mega says Pluto's OG design still pretty bulky to be fair. Maybe not Warhammer. He is, but his legs are tiny. His legs are tiny, so he's got bigger armored boots. He's got tiny little legs and feet. The boots are definitely like Warhammer boots shape. Not like I intended that. Just when you sketch, you realize, oh, I'm drawing that now. Like it does happen where you're just like, I didn't mean to do that, but that's what happened. Hmm. But I definitely wanted to make the armor out of like wood crates and barrels and shit. He is 2 steps removed from being a space marine, except he's all made out of wood. It wouldn't work in space, would it? Let's be honest. I mean, all that Liefeld stuff is space marine, you know, because he kind of got it from like Appleseed. And the barrels in the back. Yeah, this was the one I was hoping they were going to go for. This one or the bottom right, but they picked this one. That's why when you're doing your own color comps, you can kind of like. I made this one in red because I knew it would stand out more. So like, if you like one more, first off, if you only like one, just show them the one. Don't feel like you have to show anyone 3 ideas, you know, or even 2 ideas. If you really like just one idea, say, I'm thinking about this. And then if they want to see more, fine. If you really have no preference and you want to give them options, I always say don't give more than 3. Even if you conjure up 4 or 5, like give yourself a backup in case they don't like anything. You know, learn to edit yourself. Make a decision. Make a decision. Now, is the bottom the best silhouette ever? No, but not every simple thing needs to be a silhouette. You know, like it helps, but not everything. And Mario says, "Curious, have you ever seen the Gendy Tartakovsky Popeye test?" Bro, I watch that thing every month since the day it came out. It breaks my heart that that Popeye cartoon never got made. They made Pixels instead, or no, the Emoji Movie. It was one or the other, and it angers me to no end. You know, and we can directly blame Google for that because Google put out a stupid trend report that said emojis were fucking trending, and so Popeye got deleted, and they made the Emoji Movie. Yeah. It wasn't just them, I was working at t-shirt companies that were putting emojis on everything because of that Google Trend report. Yeah, cringe for real, Ashley, cringe for real. And that's everyone going, "But they're searching for this, that must mean it's popular." No, it doesn't. I know it doesn't. Online views don't equal real sales. Nobody was trending or gave a shit about Oppenheimer before the movie came out. I'm telling you right now. Mega Mario said, "Right, it's a shame Sony did Hotel Transylvania. Instead, I like that first film, and knowing what it turned into, I hate the not." Yeah. So, I don't everyone wants to act like they have a portal into the future when what they have to do is go with what creatively what do we wanna be known for? This looks amazing. We should just market the shit out of this idea because look at it. Go watch that Popeye cartoon, it's amazing. And you're just like, sell it to people, man. Believe in the product. It's a well-known character. It's survived 100 years now, you know, and it brought something new to the table. So, Mario Gamara says, like the Morbius thing. The meme got so huge, they tried re-releasing, but that's exactly it. Hold on, I gotta hold on, Mario. I'm gonna put that one up on the screen. I want you all to read this. This is true. It's like the Morbius thing. The meme got huge, so they tried re-releasing it, but it did just as bad. Yes. That Morbius re-release, it's Morbin time, is exactly what I'm talking about. They get these stupid reports or these trends, and they think they're gonna equal sales. And in T-shirts, we did it so much, and it would happen so fast. I know everyone. It's always shuffling. This is how I roll. What's up? I know all of them. Ice bucket challenge. Don't skip leg day. Challenge accepted. I mean, all of them. And they rarely ever translate to actual sales. Rarely. Like, "This is how I roll" was one that actually sold as a roll of toilet paper on a T-shirt. Um, you know? But I would try we want more cowbell, all that stuff. It doesn't. Yeah. Neymar says, "At least they never made the film. I still get mad at W thinking about how they canned Coyote versus that." Well, my problem with tax write-offs are we paid for it. You and me, taxpayers paid for it. So I think if they're getting tax write-offs, then the movie should be made available for free, and they shouldn't be able to make merchandise or anything off it, you know? We bought it. So if the taxpayer foot the bill, the taxpayer should be able to watch the thing, period. I don't like this whole we just get subsidized for poor business decisions. You and I don't get that. We open up a business that doesn't work right, we don't get to take a $40 million tax write-off, you know? And these are the same guys that try to talk to you about fiscal responsibility and, you can't have socialized healthcare, but we can subsidize coyote movies, you know? The fuck outta here. Let's see, where's the video at? Taking a break. We're moving forward. There we go. Oh, this one was gonna have a olive oil right there in front holding the sloppy burger. It's gonna do like a little stylized olive oil. And a little bit of that Crisco Lucy in the shades. A little bit. I knew they would never approve. Well, maybe they would, 'cause they knew I was doing a variant cover, but if this were like a main cover, they're not approving Rob's version of olive oil. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So Daniel, what's up? Hi everyone. Hi Sketch with Research GR. Very lovely, very cool set. Thanks. Hey man, thanks for coming by and saying hi, dude. I appreciate that. You are looking currently at this is some layouts I did for a Popeye cover that's going to be out next month. What's wrong with it's just she doesn't have long legs enough and the face isn't on the exact. I guarantee you they'd get into like they wouldn't care about if I gave her boobs or it's again, it's just and you can see me here me thrown away and she's got to have the skirt. See that skirt, the tube skirt, right? With the little legs. Yeah. But even then, I guarantee you this isn't long enough. Like, but look, they didn't go with it. So I showed this. I showed them this one for certain. They really care about like things like eye squints and proportion lengths, and so you can see me trying to like. I'm already thinking that way, so I'm trying to make her a little longer. So I'll scale her down and like I want to retain what I was doing, but at the same time, I'm like I want to get it approved. You'll see. Once you learn with licensors, like you get a sense of in your own head, like if it's something's gonna work or not. You're like, yeah, they're gonna go for this. No, they're not gonna go for that. Problem with this layout ultimately is that Popeye is like not really front and center. He's like behind them. If I honestly, well, I'm gonna have to get. My wife's still not here. Huh? All right, everybody. I gotta get dinner made. I don't care if she's back or not. It's sandwiches tonight. So I'm just going to pause it. We can pause it. I'm going to pick this right back up. I'm going to be streaming again later tonight. So I'll just pick this up where I left off. If you can make it, great. If not, don't worry. It's going to be in the archives. It's going to be there. And I'll be playing these videos over and over again. So don't even stress, dude. Go ahead and hit pause right there. And we'll hit pause on the game vids. So I'm going to get that going. Thanks for hanging out. Fun stream today, everybody. Fun stream. I'll see you all in the next. If I don't stream tonight, I'll stream tomorrow. Don't worry. Sometimes I get in after dinner and I'm like, I just put on headphones and I just don't want to talk for, but we'll be back on definitely tomorrow. So, and I do these all in color, so you get to see me do my color comps, which I don't think I've ever streamed full color thumbnails or roughs before. So that'll be first. Thanks, Daniel, Gang Feather, Chauncey, Mega Mario. Who else showed up? Let me scroll back. Oh yeah, Thron. Oh yeah, dude, what's up? What's up, buddy? Thron's back in there, dude. Lurking. Appreciate it. All the lurkers. Itchy. Allison. Everyone, thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.